Just briefly now, we spoke about our 5 pillars earlier, didn't we? Plan, attract, convert, deliver, and scale. There's something else I really want to show you in Attract that I think can be a complete game changer for you. And this is going to really help you with your lead generation. And we call this the OutBound marketing machine. And the reason we call it outbound is because there's a big difference between inbound and outbound. A lot of you might be doing inbound marketing, which is your banners on your sites, your website, your social media, your ads, your sign writing, all that sort of thing. That's all inbound, isn't it? People ring you up and say, yeah, I've seen one of your jobs down the road, I'd like a quote. So inbound's great, we want inbound leads. But the problem is with inbound leads is you're not in control of when that phone's going to ring. You're not in control of when you're going to receive an email or a tender. So you're just hoping that someone's going to be drawn into your world, potentially. But if you really want to control your lead flow, then outbound marketing is where it's at. You need to be outbound marketing because you're now staying in control of your leads. It's a bit like a tap. We want to be able to turn that tap on and off as we need. So how's your tap at the moment? Have you got a rusty tap? Are your leads drip, drip, a bit slow and inconsistent, not that much coming in? And when we're talking about leads, I'm talking about your ideal type of lead, not just any lead, your ideal leads. Are they coming in the way you want, or is it slow and painful? Or maybe your tap is like an airlock tap, where 1 minute you've got a flood of leads, loads of work coming in, and the next minute it's dead and there's no phone calls. You're like, oh man, this is a little bit stressful now. Or maybe you've got a brand new tap like that, and you can just turn it on and off as you need. Just give me a hands up. Who's got a rusty tap at the moment? Yeah, a few rusties. Okay, who's got a airlock tap? Inconsistent, floods and then nothing. And who's in control of their lead flow? Can turn the tap on and off when they want. All right, just a couple. Good stuff. So, okay, so for the majority of you, this is going to be pretty good then, if your tap's a little bit like that. So what we want to do with outbound marketing is we want to find you your ideal project in your ideal area at the ideal value that you want. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? If you could get the project in the area you want at the value you want, that'd be incredible. And I'm going to show you a way of doing this. And what we also want to do, what this outbound strategy is going to show you, is how you can approach architects or main contractors if you're a subby, and how to be invited to tender for some of these leads. Now, there are agencies out there that will charge you thousands of pounds every month to do this strategy. They'll do it for you, but they won't tell you how they're doing it, but they'll charge you thousands and thousands. And you've probably seen agencies that charge maybe 5% if they bring you a job on board. I'm going to show you how to do this for literally pennies on the dollar, as they say. It's not going to cost you a lot at all. And it's an incredible strategy. So let's have a look. And as you start looking through this, you might think, oh, is this going to work for my business specifically? Well, just keep paying attention, because we usually find it can work for pretty much everyone here. So this strategy compromises of 3 things. First of all, we need to find the leads. We've got to find a huge amount of leads. We then need to be able to warm those leads up, and then we want to approach those leads for tender. So they're the 3 things we've got to do: find them, warm them up, and approach them. Now the good thing is, when we think about finding the leads, there are hundreds of leads in your area right now going on. Hundreds of jobs going on in your area. You'll drive past scaffolds all the time. And the good thing is, a lot of these leads are sitting on council websites. And the good thing is that we've got a Freedom of Information Act in the UK. So all those leads are there for you to view. So you can get access to all of those leads. So every project that's gone in for planning permission has to go on the council's website. So that's new builds, renovations, extensions, loft conversions, commercial stuff, shops, all that sort of thing has to go on for planning permission. And if you visit the planning portal, you're going to see all of that information there. But has anyone tried to use the planning portal website and just got a bit frustrated with it because it's rubbish and takes forever to get those leads? It can be really frustrating. So we want a nice, easy way of filtering that out, finding that work, and finding what's useful for us and what's not. So to do this, we use this app here, and it's called Planning Pipe. Who's used Planning Pipe before? All right, okay. Who's never heard of it? Good, all right. So we've got 80 to 90% of the room that's not heard of this. This is gonna change your world, Planning Pipe. It is dirt cheap. It is such a cheap website, and I'm gonna show you how we use Planning Pipe to find leads. So let's just go on to Planning Pipe now. Let's just refresh this because it went down earlier. Okay, so this is Planning Pipe. Now, the first thing I'll say about Planning Pipe is the cost. It's, I think, £45 a month, or £60 a month. And let's just see if you think it's worth that £45 a month when you see what it's got. So first of all, let's imagine I'm looking for construction projects in my area. For the sake of this, as I said, there's loads of different things we can look at. Commercial, health sector, community, loads of things here, all sorts. Advertising, display, loads of stuff. But just to keep it easy, I'm just going to do like a residential builder for the moment, just to see what we've got. So let's imagine you're a builder and you do new builds and you do extensions and renovations. Maybe click off the garages and conservatories because you don't want anything too small. So that's what you cover as a company. So let's untick the rest of the stuff. So you can see already how easy it is to filter this out. And then we'll pick a location. So let's imagine for you, this is obviously the whole country. We'll tick all this off. You cover, what should we pick? We'll pick all of London, and maybe you do a little bit in the southeast, Buckinghamshire or Berkshire, something like that. Tick the rest off. Okay, and there's two things we can look at. We can either look at outline plans that have been submitted. So this is where you're getting information very early on. The problem is with this, with outline plans submitted, is that they might not ever get planning permission. So you might be wasting your time a little bit on that. Interestingly enough, a lot of people, with Gavin obviously talking about the property, a lot of people use this app to find property deals that get rejected. So you can see there, if they ever get refused permission, some people go for those type of properties. So it's quite good for that sort of thing. But we're going to untick that for now. And what we're going to look for is when they've got detailed plans submitted. And yeah, we won't click approve. Detailed plan submitted. So at this stage, you know they're serious because they've got some detailed plans submitted. What we could do actually, let's get rid of that one. And why doesn't it give me that? It won't give me it because I think this is a demo model, so I've logged into the wrong account. Okay, so we'll just do detailed plan submitted. If I was an actual member, I'd have detailed plans approved there. And then we need to pick the value. So if you're a subcontractor working for main contractors, this can be a little bit challenging because what you want to pick is what would the main contractor value be worth. So let's imagine you're an electrician and you're working for main contractors. You don't want to be finding a job that's worth 100k to $1 million. You probably want to be looking at £1 to £5 million jobs because your electrical package is going to come in at 100 to 200 grand. Does that make sense? So you just got to get that right. But let's imagine you're the main contractor and you want £1 to £5 million projects. And we'll just look and see what we've got in the last 30 days. There you go, see, do it live. Let's change my search criteria. What have I done wrong? New builds. I've done something wrong there. Yeah, let's drop it to that. Honestly, normally you get like there's hundreds and hundreds of leads on here. Okay, right, we've got 136 leads from 100 to £1 million. Now, what's good about this is all of a sudden you've got here a list of 136 projects. And let's say, for example, you want to look at Guildford. There's a dwelling house in Guildford here. So let's click on this dwelling house. And yeah, I've logged into the wrong account, so it's not, I can't view all of this. But what you would do on this is you would then click into this subscription and you would get the full details of what this is. So that's going to give you the agent and architect's name. So you're going to have the full architect's details. You're going to have the client and applicant's name and their full details, their full address. It's going to give you estimated value of the property. Now this is awesome, the estimated value of the property, because now you can filter, actually, do I want to be working on 400 to 500k properties? No, actually I want to work on £1 million projects. So you might end up dismissing this and thinking this isn't worth it. So you could dismiss that one quite easily. But the nice easy thing to do on this, once you've got all these details, it'll even take you to the planning portal so you can look at all the plans and whatever else that's on there. But you can export all of this out, and I haven't got the options on this because I'm on the wrong one, but you can take all of this out of there, and now you've got some options on what you want to do with it. Once it's exported out, you can either do a mail merge on that and send letters out to everyone. So some of you might have been sending letters to people. Personally though, I think there's a better strategy than sending letters, which I'm going to show you in a minute. I prefer to put it on email because it's free. But one thing I just want to quickly show you, if you're looking at that and think, our planning pipe's not got enough data for me, like I said, it's 45 quid a month. And when you actually do it, I'd like you to do it on your own and look at what filters you can get. You'll see how many leads there are for you. But if that's not right for you, you've also got a company called Glenigan's. Who's heard of Glenigan's? Yeah, a few more. Okay. So if you're a subcontractor or a specialist, so we've got, can't see him in the room now actually, I can't remember your name, the piling chap next to Bradley. Yeah. So this is, have you ever used Glenigan's? Right, so this is the company for you. If you're a specialist or you're an electrician or something else, this could be the company, because what they do is they do much more research on the planning stuff. So they then phone up the architect already, they find out who the main contractor is that's been appointed, they'll know when they're starting on site, and you get much more information there for you to be able to approach a main contractor. So planning pipe is probably for main contractors. Glenigan's is probably for subcontractors, depending on what boat you fall into. Unfortunately, Glenigan's is much more expensive. Planning pipes, as we said, 45 quid a month. Glenigan's probably about £400 a month. But the amount of leads it will give you is going to be unbelievable. But you've got to use it. You've got to use it. You could burn through 400 quid on ads and not get anywhere. But here you're going to have hundreds of leads on there all the time. So we've got leads. We know how to find leads, and there's tons of them out there, hundreds of them all the time. But the second strategy is we now need to warm these leads up. So has anyone tried approaching architects before? Okay, so we've got a few try and approach architects before. Did you find it difficult? Did you find it a struggle for them to get back to you, sending out emails and whatever else? Were you finding you weren't getting much response? Yeah? Does anyone just want to share their experience with an architect people who've reached out for architects? How do you find that process generally? What can be painful with it? Let's just have the company down here.
Hi, we are a construction company in London. We do residential. So a few years ago we started just get a database of architects and designers, and we've done cold phone calls. So we've gone through 3 assistants. So the girls, they were just ringing constantly the architects. And only the third one, the girl, she could actually handle it. Because they were just hanging down, they were screaming, they were saying different things to us. So out of that, there was few phone calls, but we had about 2 or 3 architects, and we still work with them.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do, but it does work.
Yeah.
And also the main we used to do with architects. We haven't done it for a while now because we haven't found a strong person to do it.
Okay, yeah. So that's that's the challenge. So I'm glad you said it works, because it does work. But there's challenges with it, isn't there? Sometimes it's frustrating. You get the wrong admin person trying to do it for you, and you think this is a lot of work. And a lot of people give up on this strategy because they haven't got all 3 in place. So this warm-up strategy is absolutely crucial. So how do you warm someone up? Well, there's 3 ways of warming someone up, and we call this a 3-way bet. Because if you ever placed a 3-way bet, you're hoping one of them is going to come in. These are the 3 things you want to be doing to warm your architects or your main contractors up. You need to be following them and connecting with them on social media. You need to be emailing and SMS messaging them. And you also need to be putting that phone call in. That last one is the hardest bit, but it's unbelievable how that improves conversions if you can actually do that, but only after the other two have been done. So they're the three things we want to look at. So social media, how do you warm someone up? Let's just take an architect, for example. How would you warm an architect up on social media? Well, if you've ever posted online, and let's just imagine you're an architect at the moment, you post online and it's crickets sometimes, isn't it? You get a couple of people might like your post, maybe your mum and someone else, and it's frustrating, isn't it? You think, oh, no one's liking what I'm doing. So the first thing we want to do is just start following the architects, and then you want to start liking their posts. But go a little bit further than that. Rather than just liking their posts, actually start commenting on their posts. Great, that's a lovely extension there. Love the way you've used that glass and that facade you've created. That's amazing. You know, that sort of thing. What do you think is going to happen with that architect if you start using that strategy? What do you think is going to happen if you start commenting on an architect's post?
It's just warming up to you,
Yeah, they're going to warm up to you. They're going to notice it, aren't they? Because we all notice if someone comments on our post. All of us do. So that's the first thing, that you've started to warm the architect up by posting. So just from this, they're going to become aware of who you are. That's probably all you're doing at this stage. They just now know that you're in their world and you exist in their eyes. So that's strategy number one. The second thing we now need to do is engage in an email and SMS campaign. So as we said there, on Planning Pipe, you're going to get their emails. And normally, it's actually the architect's direct email who's actually submitted that project to planning. So you're going to get the architect direct. If you can't get him direct as an info one, you normally just replace their first name and you'll get the right email address, unless you see it bounce. But get their email address. And we want to be using a CRM system to start warming them up on email. You don't want to be manually doing this. Who's got a CRM system? Do you know what a CRM is? So just not many, okay. So a CRM system is your customer relationship management system, and this is your sales software. We've got a CRM system in-house that we call FlowBuild, and with our CRM system that all our mastermind clients get, you can create tons of emails on there. Now, a few of you said to me, Greg, you send out a lot of emails, but I'm not sending those emails out. They get programmed in and they're going out while I'm asleep, you know, these emails that constantly go out. And you won't believe how much business you get from emails that go out. So what you need to do is get yourself a CRM system, or talk to us about FlowBuild, but any CRM system out there, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, you know, there's plenty out there, Salesforce, and you want to plug in an email campaign into that, or write one yourself. So you might have a drip feed email campaign with an architect, and you might just introduce yourself first of all. This is our company, this is what we do, here's some pictures of some of the work we've done. So you're just going to warm them up a little bit on email. You can also introduce SMS messaging into your CRMs, where it'll send them an actual message. And once you've warmed them up a little bit, we then want to go in for the ask. So we've warmed them up on social, they're now aware of us, they now understand what we do because we've sent them some info over email, and then you want to ask directly, I noticed you've got this project at 123 Smith Street that's just been approved for planning. We specialise in £500,000 projects, we'd love to tender for this. And you watch the response rate go up compared to what others try, where it might just be initially just a letter that goes out, it just gets ignored. Whereas if you do these two things, the social media first and then the email, it rapidly improves your chances, because now you're being really specific about why you've contacted them. You're not just saying, oh, have you got anything to tender for? You actually say, no, I've seen that project and that's exactly what I want to tender for because we specialise in that. That's exactly what we do. So it's a great little system of doing it. And there's loads of things you can do with it. You can really geek out on these CRM systems. You can do all sorts of things, like if they click on your email, you can send them down another link, and if they like that email, you can send them another way and do different campaigns. It all gets really technical, but it's easy to do. You can all do it yourself. But the last thing we want to do, we've captured their attention. They know what we're about. If they don't respond, we've got to do this bit, and this is the bit that people hate, but this is so important, is you've got to put that phone call in. And if you can do that last thing and actually phone the main contractor or the architect and say, I I've been following you on social for a while. I've sent you a couple of emails over and an SMS, but I really want to tender for 123 Smith Street. Can we have a little chat? You watch your conversion rates go up and see how many architects you manage to land doing that. Or get an admin person to do it for you and say, my director really wants to talk to you about this project. Can I quickly book him in for a 10-minute chat with you? And you'll see that convert massively. So those are the three things. And what you want to do then is formulate your own telephone script. So you could potentially do that if you look on page, hope you're taking notes on all of this, but page 34 and 35 in your workbooks. In that there, we've got a few details. What I'd like to do, I want to make this nice and practical for you. So maybe we could do for a few minutes is, let's first on page 34, look at these emails here and the type of messages that you could be sending over the email campaign. So let's imagine you want to warm an architect up. Let's just play a little bit of music and we'll just see if we can map out some of these emails for you. So just write in your workbooks, we'll just do this for a couple of minutes. What type of emails could you potentially send to an architect to warm them up once you've started following them on social media? You want a few, you don't want one or two, you want a few, and maybe just as Harmeet and myself, we can just go around and just help you with this task a little bit. So what emails could you potentially write to your architects? Have you tried this strategy at all?
We do it. We've got a girl in our office that does our sales and marketing, and we've tried various things with various levels of success. Never struck gold, but you know, sometimes you get a win. But I think it's more just right time, right place.
Yeah. Well, the good thing about this strategy is that you're catching them in all areas, so they can't get away from you. Because if you only ever do email, it might drop into junk, and then it's not being seen. But when you've got on the social as well.
Sorry, I just walked out of the room at the time.
That's all right. So what we're doing is we're just looking at the email campaigns, and we're just helping people formulate the sort of emails that they could send to architects when they're warming them up. So just making it nice and practical.
All right, cool.
So for you the planning pipe would also work for you, Sam, because you're going to see what landscape projects are being done. Yeah. So there's going to be time.
How it works for sort of a subcontractor, sort of plumbing, heating, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
How would I use something like that?
Yeah, so you would probably have to use Glenigan's. You can use planning pipe to try it out, but the problem is you're then going to be pitching to the architect. So the only way it'd work for you is if you did the actual design. So if you went into an architect and said, we do M&E design, and we'd like to help you with this project, and you know that could be your lead into now, because if you're going to do the design, you're probably going to get the job. So do you do design at all? Have you got any? Might be an avenue worth looking at your level. You can get designers easy enough, and sometimes you can do it as a bit of a lost leader, because you get electricians that do the EIOR, whatever they're called, the certificates. That's a bit of a lost leader, isn't it? You go in cheap, but you know the amount of work it's going to generate afterwards. So sometimes if you paired up with an architect and say, we could help you with your M&E design, because there isn't many out there that can do that, that's your angle in. So worth thinking about. Good stuff. All right. Give it a go. It's sometimes tough thinking of the emails. So it might just be simple things like just introducing yourself as a company. Maybe you want to list to them your 3 USPs. Say we specialise in this, this, and this. That could be email 1. Email 2 could be some testimonials that go over. Tell them a bit about you. Just warming them up, letting them know a little bit about you before you go in for the killer. We want to tender for this. How you going with this one, guys?
We already do this, so we introduce ourselves, introductory email to start with, attached with the bits kind enough to look at it down the line. Then it's a follow-up email. Have we had time to look at it? Is there any feedback on it? Then it's can we arrange a time to meet up? And then get your foot in the door face to face.
Yeah.
Start building relations.
That's it. And there could be some other emails that go across, like maybe your testimonials and things. So what some people, they might go, oh, here's a recent project we've done that's just like that one that you want to tender for. Okay, we just completed this project, just wanted to send it to you. We'd love to, if you've got any jobs of this scope, we'd love to help out. Testimonials, case studies, all that sort of stuff. Just is, the more you touch base with them, the more they're going to build up a bit of a relationship with you. So yeah, ideally around six touch points.
How do you do it without becoming annoying?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking around the SMS.
I'm probably the most annoying marketer going, but you're all here. But you're all here.
Or it's coming through you, it's coming through in the middle of the night, you wake up, you're like, Jesus Christ,
It's painful, but I know the problem is we worry about it more than what they do. You know, just get it out there, just get it to them. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. No. How they getting on? How are we getting on with this?
Alright, yeah, we're just sucking around.
Yeah, it's good.
Break the ice and introductory emails, complimenting architects and projects like that.
Yeah.
USPs of your company. So, particularly for job specific.
Exactly.
Extensions, conversions, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Examples of projects we've completed in the past.
Nice.
Any of future availability to carry out projects.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, case studies, reviews, all that sort of thing can all go down. How you all getting on with this?
We're on ChatGPT. We asked ChatGPT to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's done it.
You just get up there and tell them that. That's probably a better idea. Good stuff. All right. What about this? What about this one? Okay. And stop. All right. So, interestingly, just a couple of people said, though, I've tried this, I've tried that, but don't forget, it's all three. If you're doing all three, you've got to do all three. If you're missing one of these, you're going to get less results. You know, to be fair, if you just done emails, it would work, but it's not as effective as doing all three. You've got to get all three, and especially that phone call piece. Just want to talk to someone who's been using this strategy in our mastermind community. Can we just get a mic for Jamie, please? So Jamie, could you tell us one of the wins you had when you initially turned this strategy on?
Yeah, so I started using this strategy with Angie and Virtual Construct, Construct Virtual, let's get it wrong again. And essentially I created a list of architects that I thought we would like to work for, that our competitors are working for. And pretty much after initial onboarding, let this roll with Angie and the team. And they would reach out on various different platforms on social media and look to basically warm them up, if you will. So this went on for a period of time, and there was one particular architecture firm that do a lot of work that's in line with where we want to be. And after, it wasn't that long, maybe a month, one of Angie's team managed to set up a meeting with this so agreed a meeting to go meet the director of the architectural practice. So I went along to that meeting, did the song and dance, and off the back of that, a week later, we received a tender for a project in our area, which we then won. Original contract value was 830,000. We're on site with that project now, currently up to about 1.3 million, all off the back of a minuscule investment when we look at the overall time. Now, there is a bit of luck in that. It just so happened that there was a project in our area that was coming to tender. But on the back of that, we've also now got the architect, after our last meeting, has come up to me after after the site meeting and said that they've now got the next one that they want to get us on, and it's a bigger project. And so, I always, whilst we did our client avatars, but slightly off topic, we did our client avatars and we know what our end clients, what we want them to look like. For me, the focus is always architects, because the lifetime value of that relationship far exceeds, in most cases, what Mr. and Mrs. Moneybags are going to do, right? So yeah, from that one investment, taking on this process, it's already yielded revenue of currently about 1.3, and that's without the additional that's going to land on this job, and also the future work we're going to get from the practice. So it works, it's money well spent, and the way I did it was, my upfront investment was the monthly cost with energy in a team, which compared to the revenue is minuscule, and an onboarding call, and then pretty much after that it was automatic. It happened without me knowing. It was only when the meetings were booked that I would get a call or an email saying this, what dates can you make. So it's a bit of a no-brainer in my view, and whilst not everyone will get so lucky so quickly, it just shows that the process does work.
Yeah, 100%. So thanks for that, Jamie. And although Jamie says there's a little bit of luck in that, sometimes you're creating your own luck in this. What do they say? Luck is preparation meets opportunity. You're preparing for the luck, aren't you? You're preparing for the opportunity because you're there right at the point when someone is ready to think, actually, yeah, this is about to go out to tender, and your email's just landed in their inbox the day that they need to start finding contractors for it. So when you're pumping hundreds of email addresses in every month, you're preparing yourself to be there to create your own luck for yourself in that. We've got a few other masterminds that are trying this. Anyone else having success with this in our mastermind community? Just putting you on the spot a little bit. But anyone else trying this? Let's just talk to George at the back.
Yeah, I've been doing this work. We pretty much get all our leads from doing this way. We get all the information from Canon Pipe, which includes our CRM. I think we've got like 25 emails set up, all through Angie as well, to be honest, which all links to our website. It just keeps getting the same boxes, and we get so many emails coming back asking us to price jobs. We've got clients, even jobs that aren't on their clients recommend us. And even structural engineers I've never met, when they come to our side, they say all they ever hear when they come in our area is our name just being called out all the time. It's just through the emails.
Awesome. Yeah, great to hear, George. Yeah, thanks for that. So it works. I can promise you this works, but you've got to put the effort in to do all these three things. So hopefully that's another string in your bow with your marketing strategy. You might already be doing Facebook ads and Google ads or whatever else, but this is something that is so targeted that that's what we want. We want something that's outbound and you're in control of what you're doing there. So just any hard moments in that, just listening to that. Is anyone going to try this? Yeah? Good stuff. What do you like about it? What do you like about this strategy that you might not have learned of before? What do you think is good about this strategy?
Low cost. Very specific.
Low cost?
Yeah, very specific.
Yeah, nice and specific, yeah. It's so targeted, which Facebook ads and Google ads aren't.
And it's leveraged, right? So you're not having to do the work yourself right after the initial sort of onboarding. It's leveraged, and
that's it.
That's going on whilst you're asleep.
Yeah, that's it. Get your admin team to set it all up or construct
the projects you want to work on.
Yeah, pick the projects you want to work on. Good stuff. All right, so I hope you can potentially use that strategy in your business there. And just bear in mind though, just think about what we've done today, because we're doing a little bit of a build-up of something. We're not just picking random things here. We've been talking about getting your brand right, first of all, your brand and your credibility. We've dived into your communication style and your USP, how you're communicating with clients. We've showed you how to find the leads, shown you how to warm up the leads, how to approach those architects. If you miss anything out of that strategy, you're probably going to fall down and it's not going to work. So it all has to come together at once. And sometimes that can feel a little bit overwhelming because you think, oh man, I've got to start my website, I've got to do this. But you do have to bring it all together to get this. So there's no point obviously reaching out to all these architects or whatever and then they look at your website and think, oh, you're too small. It's not going to work, is it, for you? So just have a think about that.